Welcome back to the show. I'm still Phil Fleischman, and I am still your host of Just Phil. Listen, with me, I have a return visit from Dean Johnson. Dean, great
nice to be here. Good to see you again.
So, we had you on about a year ago.
Yes.
And we were talking about your church and the school. Everybody, remember to know your money, and we will see you again in just a few moments. (224-6875). 224-6875. This is Phil. PAS Bookkeeping and Tax Prep is open 7 days a week to ensure you get prompt, personalized, and professional service. Call 224-6875. Hi, I'm Phil Fleischman, owner of PAS Bookkeeping and Tax Prep, your affordable accounting alternative. Mention this ad and save 20% off last year's tax prep fees. Call us 224-6875. We had you on about a year ago.
Yes.
And we were talking about your church and the school.
Yes.
And that it needed a new roof.
Yes.
Tell me where you're at with that.
Okay, what we've done was go to, obviously, the planning board so that we can get the necessary paperwork in order for the...
What city is that? Charleston?
North Charleston. No, that's North Charleston.
North Charleston, okay.
Yes. It's 2233 Taylor Street.
That's the address for North Charleston?
That's the address for the site. That's where the actual construction will take place.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell me what's going on.
And now we're waiting for the contractors to come in to give us an estimate because the sides have to be redone. And when I say redone, I mean reconstructed brick. It's block on one side, but it's wood on the other. And because of the condition of the roof, it caused the roof sag and the sides come out. So therefore, they have to reconstruct the side and then not repair, but replace the roof because it will have a new face and it will go. And you get the estimate on the size, which is 70 by 45. Then they go with that. So it's not a mega project. It's just having someone to come in and just do it. And we want it done by phase.
Right.
So that's what it is now.
So you're not in the building right now. We're downtown, right?
We're downtown on 727 East Bay Street, which is Agape Ministries. By the leadership is Pastor Matthew W. Jeffcoat. It is right across from the old cigar factory. They're on Columbus Street.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was talking about the dock right there. I'm like, it's on the dock.
That's a landmark, and it's a very old landmark because it's been there forever. Sure. So when we tell people the cigar factory right across from there, it's a building with a steeple on it. And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Now let's go back to the building in North Charleston. Now, how's that going to be funded?
We're trying to do, what we do is solicit contributions for those who want to contribute to the school because that's how the school functions anyway. We're not owned by a denomination or by a special interest group or that.
Right.
The entire school is supported by tuitions and by the free will offering.
Okay, so you have a building fund.
Yes.
Or a building renovation fund.
That's exactly.
Do you have much money in that, or
no? It's getting there.
You're out there looking for the money.
That's exactly right.
Have you had an estimate done on the building?
Yes, we have. The estimate the rafters. It's going to be $9,600. That's just for the rafters. On the block itself is $6,500. The entire project should be no more than $28,000 and some change. So again, for some organization and some church, that's peanuts. But for us, in the manner in which we give it, it's slow because people contribute.
Right.
So we depend on people for that, for the free will contributions.
I don't know about you, but $28,000 is a lot of money to me.
Really?
Personally.
I mean, if you say that personally, that's what you say. To me personally, it may be. But to a job and getting things done, that's really not a lot of money.
Can the city help you at all?
We went through, cities do more private or residential renovation as opposed, because when you talk a church, that's considered commercial. So that falls onto a whole new category, a whole new phase of, of funding. So then again, because again, I'm glad you mentioning about the amount of money. For years, I was taught or thought that, hey, listen, American dream is to have this, to do this, be educated and have this. That's fine. But if that's the definition in its entirety, everything points to us. Now, the truthful way or the fact of the matter is, what belongs to us anyway? What really belongs to us? Okay, now if you want to go Bible, and that's what the Bible College does, in Psalms 24, 1, the earth is the Lord's. So, right away, in any translation, it belongs to Him. And the fullness thereof. So everything in the earth belongs to God. So we're here only to be stewards, to say, how well are we going to do with our time, our talent, and our treasure? Because neither one belongs to us.
You know what? I've been remiss. I'm so very sorry. Dean Johnson is the president, or the...
You did it right.
Yeah, the president of the Alpha and Omega Bible College.
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay.
You get it right.
Exactly. So we're talking about the church, but we're also talking about a school.
Yes.
And you're training our new pastors and leaders of the community.
That's exactly right. Our main focus is to train and to equip ministers or layperson, whomever desire to get a biblical education. Now, it's just not an education. By the time they finish completing the school or their associate's or bachelor's degree, they should go back to their ministries, their chosen ministry, and be an asset to that ministry. Wherein now, because of the education, inspiration, and application, it is imputed unto them to resume the responsibility that I need to be a part of an auxiliary to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, and give shelter to those that don't have. So that becomes a mandate rather than the me, myself, and I syndrome.
How long has the school been there now?
About 12 years.
About 12 years.
Yes, sir.
And you're hoping to get it back up to North Charleston the next year or two,
yes,
right?
the next year.
Next year.
Yes,
but
sir.
Agape's been so very helpful in getting you and keeping you moving.
yes.
And the spring semester obviously has already started. How many people do you have in your classes this year?
Good question. This year we've been blessed. We should be enrolling about 13 just in the first class and about 6 in the second year class. So that has been a blessing.
And the whole program is how long?
The whole program, if you're going for your associate's degree, it's 1 year, and of course with your bachelor's, a year and a half.
Okay, then after a year and a half, they go back to their communities and
yes, and their churches said, what can I do in this church that I'm affiliated with? What can I do to augment the responsibility that have been imputed unto me? I just can't sit and when someone had said, in whatever community this church is in, there's somebody that needs. There's somebody that's hungry. We don't have to look for it. It's right in our community. And if it's not in our community, we need to find one. Because we can't. Well, there's no way in the world we can get an education on any level, even if it's a secular education. We're not educated to sit and watch or to consume things on our own lust, to say me, myself, and I. It's not about us.
Now, but the graduates don't have to go back to their community, to their congregation. They can go out. And
that's exactly right. And sure. In fact, there are some that go overseas, the Peace Corps, there are some that do mission trips. There are some people that are sponsored by churches or organization that said, we want to send you over to the third world country or to whatever country that needs help. This is what they, in answer to your question, no, they don't have to go back that particular one, but they have to do something.
PAS Bookkeeping and Tax Prep is open 7 days a week to ensure you get prompt, personalized, and professional service. Call 224-6875. 224-6875. Hi, I'm Phil Fleischman, owner of PAS Bookkeeping and Tax Prep, your affordable accounting alternative. Mention this ad and save 20% off last year's tax prep fees. Call us 224-6875. 224-6875.
So what we have here is we have yet another alternative of what someone could do if they're unemployed, can't find work, but wants to do something and get ahead themselves.
Yes.
This is something else that they can do.
Yes. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because the reward is so great, because a lot of times we depend on whether it be local, civil, or national government to do everything. That's not going to work. Government cannot pass a bill or get anything on the floor, because as you can see, they fight all the time anyway. So, you know, regardless. But what I'm saying, let's bring it back to us. We make the difference. Mankind makes the difference. If we make the law, why can't we make the difference?
Okay, well,
If we make the law, we can make the difference. We are responsible for making it better or worse. We can't point the fingers at nobody. It's us. If we want to know the problem, let's look in the mirror.
well, I'm not going to argue with you on that whatsoever. But let's get back to the school for just a
Please.
moment, okay? So, in order to help the school, we're flashing the information on the screen right now.
Yes.
We're putting a link on our webpage so that they can get in touch with you and make a donation
Thank you.
to help with the school.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
then it's for those who want their contribution to be taxed, that we will supply and furnish with them the tax ID number wherein that they can
Right.
do a tax write-off.
So you're a nonprofit or you have a fiscal sponsor.
Yes, sir.
That's what that means, okay?
Yes. Every time we're asked, and this is for anybody,
Right.
every time anybody is asked to give anything, the first thing is, to who? Why? How will it benefit them? And what do I get? Those are the four
You know,
questions.
but you have to be, when you're contributing money or you're contributing goods,
Yes.
you're contributing services, you're contributing time,
Yes.
that's not the right question.
Okay.
It's not about me, but it's about everybody else.
There you go.
What can I do to help other people?
That's my
How
point.
does-
There
I mean,
you go.
It always comes back to how's it affect me. And I go back a couple years ago. I was on a TV show, a roundtable discussion, in which I had challenged everybody to be smart about their tax preparation. Go and interview tax preparers, and don't pay too much. Pay the right fee, but then to take the difference between what they were paying and what they pay.
Okay.
To take that extra money and donate it to the church, donate it to the United Way, donate it to the food bank, donate it to somebody.
Wow.
And then come back a year later and think to themselves consciously, am I a better person now than I was a year ago? And inevitably, everybody who took the challenge came back and said, yes, I am a better person for what I did.
Wow.
And I feel good. And they continued their contributions.
And this is, well, you've said it all. You've augmented what I wanted to say, because when a person is met with a mandate like that and they take on the challenge, they received everything in which you told them. You said, listen, why don't you compare? Don't just run out and give money to the taxpayer. Find out your best price. And when you do that, the excess money that you would pay just to get a preparation, they were educated in what you told them and said, now give to the food bank, or to a necessary cause, a need.
Well,
and you're
exactly.
going to feel good about that. And especially when people come back to you and say, I'm a better person. There's no greater reward on earth or to mankind than feel good that you know you've done some good. Because again, peace of mind is the commodity or the entity that is priceless, that everybody needs to have, that we can't even buy.
No. And of course, the biggest issue is this, is number one, unemployment. I don't care what the statistics are. Unemployment is higher than it's ever been in the history of the United States. Okay, I saw a number a couple days ago that suggests that 27 to 28% of all eligible employees in the United States today are unemployed. They're not working. They're on federal assistance. They're on unemployment. They're on food stamps. They are on disability now.
Okay.
Some of them retired early and are drawing from Social Security. Well, we have to fund all these programs.
Okay.
And it's very, very difficult. And now you have people like, there's a lot of people who are looking for contributions. We got the school. The
I
school
couldn't
is
think about
looking
those.
for donations to help put up their building. The Justville Educational Television Foundation at knowyourmoney.org, they're trying to get money. The church down the street, they're looking for money. The food bank, they're looking for money. United Way, everybody is looking for money to help fund these programs to help everybody. But the money has to come from someplace, and people have to make the hard decision of where to put the money. Now, I'm hoping that they hear what you have to say, and I'm hoping that they say, yeah, you know what, I have a little extra money and I can put it towards the building.
And in addition to that, I'm hoping that they heard your part, because you explained it very well. The excess money that you would save, that you would normally not be conscious of if nobody didn't tell you, that says, rather than paying someone $500 to prepare my tax, and I perhaps can come to Phil and pay $250 for the expert service, I'm getting the benefit. Now I have $250 that I would normally not have I not been educated on this. Now, instead of saying, okay, hoard it to myself, let me find a need and meet it. Let me go out and says, this is needful. This is going to help people.
Well, yeah, the whole purpose of the TV show, and everybody who's watching the show has been watching it for some time, it's to educate you on different things such as tax preparation fees. What's too much, what's too little? I don't have an answer for you, but I can tell you this: there are a lot of people who charge too much money. Tax preparation is is a big business, and there are some big businesses out there, and they generate billions of dollars of revenue every year. Now, the Internal Revenue Service has come through and said that some of these services, and I'm not going to name you right here, okay? I've done that once before. I got in trouble for it once before. I'm not going to do it again, okay? But IRS says that some of the services out there are predatory.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, okay? Let me ask you a question.
Please.
Let's say that you're having an issue with employment, so you're unemployed.
Okay.
So let's say that maybe you made $10,000 or $12,000 last year for you and your family to pay bills, put food on your table. You really struggled. And someone comes over and they says, we're going to do your tax return and we're going to promise this and this, but it's going to cost you, by the time you get done, and you add all the little pieces up, it's going to cost you $500 or $600. I want you to think about what percentage of your total gross income for the year you just spent on a tax return.
That's right.
That honestly may not have cost you anything at all if you had taken the time to do it yourself.
Or educated in the saying, because like what you just said, I have a definition for education.
Go ahead.
Okay? I think education is information that demands application.
I like that.
I think education is once you have gotten the information about what you have been enlightened in, now it's mandatory that you take action to apply it to your life and say that I've been educated.
Well, I like that.
Thank
like
you.
that a
So,
lot.
so at this time, when you said, now I've been educated to say, I don't have to spend all this money. I can go over now and get the quality service at a price that won't send me farther under the bridge that I'm already in.
Well, I think that everybody has to be aware of their current financial situation.
Absolutely.
Okay? I think that you have to take a real good look at how much money you have coming in and how much money you have going out.
Yeah.
And make some conscious decisions. Do I go out and buy the prime rib, or do I go out and buy the skirt steak? Do I spend $100 on a meal going out, or do I have a wonderful meal at home and spend $10? You know, if I'm on unemployment, I don't have that much money coming in. I need to be more cognizant of the
I
money.
need to be disciplined and educated too, not
Right.
It's
I'm not
called
saying-
self-inflicted wounds.
I'm not saying that if you're making a lot of money that you can go blow it all. I'm saying that you have to be you have to be aware of your financial situation at all times. You know, we talk about it every day on the show. People call me all the time, and we talk about budgets, or we talk about tax preparation.
Okay.
We talk about, you know, am I going to get a refund next year, or do I need to put some more money aside? Or, now here's the interesting thing, can I cut back a little bit on my withholdings? Take a little bit more home every week and not have to pay taxes at the end of the year. So I have an extra $20, $30, $40, $50 in my pocket a month.
Okay.
That's an interesting thought now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You think that $50 a month could easily pay for groceries for a good portion of that.
And again, as you mentioned, when people are educated, they become disciplined, and become disciplined, then you figure out, listen, is this a need or want? Is this a necessity or luxury? And you have to be cognizant of saying, here's the deal, because at the end of the day, you have to answer these questions.
You know, I got to tell you something. Everybody knows that I have one or two ex-wives out there. And here's a funny story. Is that one of my ex-wives, and I won't say her name, but one of my ex-wives, by the way, they both had the same name.
How did you do that?
Well,
Oh,
I had
answer
I
that.
had such a good time with the first one, I had to do it again.
Yeah, okay. Some
But,
things you don't do again.
So my ex-wife had come to me and said that she wanted to buy this piece of jewelry. No, it was a piece. It was a blouse. It was a blouse. That's what it was. And I looked at her and I go, "Do you want it or do you need it?"
Yeah.
And she looked at me square in the face. She goes, "Well, absolutely, I need it." So how can you say no to that? But the simple fact of the matter is, and we do some classes on this. I work with other foundations, other nonprofits on doing this, but you truly do have to have a good idea of a budget, how much money you can spend each month on food, how much can you spend on clothing, how much you have left over to put away in savings for college funds and so forth, if there's anything left.
But again,
Besides the point, though, is, and we kind of got off the topic just a little bit here, you have to be aware of where you're at financially in order to help others with donations and contributions. So I implore everybody that does do that on a regular basis, whether or not it's tithing or it's donating to the school or to another cause, to make sure that they're not overextending themselves.
Make a lot of sense, and especially for tithing and offering, without even bringing up a whole new venture or avenue. But tithing and offering is the best. And giving is a mindset. It's a mindset. Giving had very little to do, and you'll disagree with me on this, but then we can talk about it because you're my brother from another. We can do this. The giving is a mindset. Giving have very little to do with what you have. It's more to do with your management of what you have. In any case, $100 to one person is like pennies to another. So it's not a matter of the money, it's a matter of the mindset. A person with the right mindset that want to give can do more with $100 than a person with $100 that only think of themselves and the luxury or the squandering thereof. Same $100, but different mindset.
Well, absolutely.
So then you said, okay, Dean Johnson, here's $100. Okay, fine. Do I need to really get Air Jordan sneakers for $100? Or do I really need to go home and make a conscious decision that I need to eat, I need gas, and the necessities of. So the mindset must extend beyond the amount of money, because it's not the money that rules the mind has to rule the money. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. Again, it's the mindset, not the money. To me, average basketball may be $35, any place. Spalding basketball. I'll play with it, put it in the closet, I'll put it in wherever until I get. The same ball to Michael Jordan, the $35 become $35 million. Depends on whose hands it's in. The mindset. All I'm gonna do with a basketball, play with it. With him, you probably teach somebody how to be the next NBA player. Like getting back to the mindset. So it's not what we have, it's what we do with what we have. That's the education and the discipline thereof. All right. So getting back to the contribution. So it doesn't matter how much we give to what worthy cause, it's the mindset behind the giving.
Well, I hope that that someone out there gives a little bit to the building fund to help the school get back to where it needs to be. And I'm going to have you back.
Thank you so much.
We'll have you back in 6-8 months. We'll see where the building is. Hopefully you've started the renovation work to it.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully you can help the school.
Thank you.
And it's always good to see you.
Always good to see you, and thanks for being a great friend. And we are going to support your foundation. Because again, it's a matter of a mindset. It's a matter of knowing. It's all about relationship.
It is.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Oh, we appreciate you too.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you watching the show.
Thank you.
Everybody, remember to know your money, and we will see you again in just a few moments.
This program is produced in conjunction with Just Phil Educational Television Foundation. For more information on this episode, events, and seminars, or to make a donation, please visit us at www.jpetf.org or call 843-224-6875.